morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the June 28th edition of Morning Mindset. I'm your host right there. That's me. I'm Todd. How are you doing this fine Wednesday morning? If it's your first time here or your long time here, here's what we expect out of you. I need to know who you are. I need to know where you're from. I need to know what the weather is like in your area, and I need to know what is in your cup. Now, this morning here, it's like low 70s, light rain. Pretty sure you can't see down the street because smoke, but I haven't went to look yet. So that's what we're dealing with here. As far as what's in the cup, let me tell you, if you know me, you know I don't sleep the greatest as it is. And I didn't sleep well last night. Imagine that, right? Um, and I've been on an energy kick this morning. So I will not say that one of these is gone. I will not say that this is almost gone. And I will not say that there is another one ready to go. I just got stuff to do. I got stuff to do this morning. So that's what I'm saying. I got stuff to do. So I pound those. So that's what we got. So let me know where you're at, who you are, what's in your cup, the weather. The other thing, which I think is way more important, is your 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? So why do I ask this of you guys, right? Well, I ask it of myself. I have to make that list. I have to hold myself accountable because I'll have a boss looking over me that says, hey, did you get your work done today? Hey, I am that boss. And the list becomes my boss because I write it down. Here's the things that we're going to do. So we go through it. I have all my stuff that needs to get done, projects that we're working on, where things are with it. And then I make a list of the top 5 that have to happen. Like today, I've got mock-ups that need to get done. I've got DTF that needs printing. I've got a speaking gig call that's happening this afternoon. I've got invoices that needs to be sent out and quotes that need to be sent out. Invoicing and quotes, I'm about halfway done with. So that's one we've been working on this morning. Mock-ups, I'm waiting on a font, and then I should be good to go on that. And then DTF will start printing the call. I'm not 100% sure what time it is, sometime this afternoon. So those are our top 5 things to do, but we've got other stuff to set up there. I've got to set up for morning mindset for next month. I've got to set up posts for next month. I've just got to set up for social media things for next month. So there's a lot of things I need to set up in this last week going into next month. So that's what we got. That's what we got going on this morning. So check in, let me know. And I'm going to check in now. See, I think I'm rambling, so maybe I've had too much. Good morning, Darren. 76 and humid there in Topeka. Darren says, great show last night. Happy belated birthday. Well, yes. Thank you for the show comment. Corey's birthday was last Friday. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, just ask questions on that. So I'm going to post that link in here because they're like, is there a place that I can watch the replay of it? Yes, we're going to put it. It's going to be in the comments, so you're able to see it in there. There's a post that I scheduled that'll probably happen like an hour in the group, and then I'll post it on the other various social media sites, so that way you can see that there. But I think we had a good show. You know, let me know if you watched the show last night. What did you learn? I said you don't need a whole lot. You don't need anything really if you want to get into printing tattoos. We can just print them for you. You can find another vendor to print them for you. If you have an inkjet or laser printer, you can print them yourself, but you're better off with a white toner because you get that base under it. So hopefully there's a lot of good information from there last night. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. 84 and headed to upper 90s. Heat index of 109 Central Florida. Yikes. Good morning from 65 smoky Chicagoland. I watched a weather graphic on that this morning on how that's working and the way that everything's pulling. And so we're like, it's like a hurricane of smoke. And that's why you and me, we're getting hit with that because where it's coming down and swooping into us on the way to 91, but air quality is down to 206. It was high last night, right, from 248. So there's that water in the bottle. I would totally go with that, right? It was definitely weird. Good morning from North Central Minnesota. Barb, good morning to you. 63 and raining. High in the mid 60s. Iced tea in the cup. Yeah, it is a light rain. That's what it says out there. And then I got the weather thing that said to expect that most of the day. And Barb's 5 things. Customer appointment. Did I say that right? Customer appointment? It sounded weird in my head. Put away inventory, quotes, some digitizing, and prep for holiday company. Yeah, because it's a holiday weekend. So have we talked that yet? Are we going to, is anybody taking a 4-day weekend? Anybody taking Friday, Saturday, or taking Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off? Is anybody just taking Tuesday off? Is anybody like, what's a holiday and not taking any off? Is anybody closing from Friday to the following Monday, taking a week off? I know a lot of places that do that as well. So let me know. I think we'll we'll do a show on Monday because I don't think we're going to go anywhere. I'm still last minute trying to figure it out. And then last night, Corey and I were talking. There's some stuff in August. Um, Funny enough, we both have events that we can attend down in Nolans that are like a week apart. It was like, oh, why couldn't one been there? Because then we could both go do our own thing and reconvene at that. Now doing it a week apart, it's like it's logistically, I don't know if we can make that happen. And then the same thing is happening in September in Nashville, where there's two events that are like a week apart. So we're going to go through them and see if we're able to swing any of it. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but that's on our plan to do as well. Jerry, good morning to you. 79 in St. Louis. George, good morning to you. I talked to Stacy yesterday afternoon. Hey, her stuff's done, and she's going to let me know when she's going to swing by and pick it up this morning. So, morning to you. And Brian says 74 on the way to 95, smoke-filled skies. Thanks, flappy-headed Canada, right? I mean, it was crazy yesterday. And so Renee was worse than us. We're worse than you. It was weird when we couldn't see across the river, and it's just not something normally we have to deal with. So it threw me off. Mountain Dew, 110 plaques, designing billing. You know what I love most about that? Billing. No spike lemonade, not yet, but it could be. Funny enough, Corey, when she comes in the office on Monday, she's throwing stuff away and she goes, "Were you drinking down here?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "These spike lemonades." And I forgot she wasn't here, so she didn't hear the story. So I explained it to her and I said, "Yeah, whatever." So I may have had one or two or a couple over the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Rye, good morning to you. And Christy, good morning. In Memphis, miserable outside. Been without power since Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, the storms. How are you faring from that? How was not your house, possessions, things can place, but, emotionally, how are you doing? We've been through a couple storms here where, house, tons of damage. Like 2020 was the worst that we had to experience for two reasons. One, anytime you suffer house damage, but two, just the process that came along with that of getting everything squared away. I want to say it was, I don't know, almost a year before everything got fixed because of how backlogged everything was with COVID. And it just made for a struggle. You're just trying to figure things out. You don't know anything. So how are you doing with that, Christy? T-Town, good morning to you. 63 and smoky there too. Last night was really bad at softball. One of the moms says they were catching falling ash. Really? Yeah, because you're closer to it on that side of it. When we went on a golf cart ride, I don't know, 9:30 or so last night. And from our house, from our addition here, we've got about a 2 block down to the river. And the river has the park, and then the other side of it, that's where kind of the softball fields are. And they still have the lights on there because I think they don't stop there until 10. And it looked crazy over there. It definitely looked something out of some sci-fi movie because it was the only thing that was lit up, but you really couldn't see it. Definitely weird out there today. Look at that. Ryan's got 90s in the Bay Area today. And there's a link. Here's a link. So if you're in Facebook land, you can just go ahead and click on that. It is in the description too. And like I said, you will have that posted so that way you can get around to watch it. Things like that, whatever. It'll post. That way you can check that out. And T-Town's, he is tinting now, still working on hats later. Machine not liking the side logos, so taking even longer. Oh, that, how many times we ran into that? Got dash towels to make and new designs work for 1,000 shirt order maybe. Awesome to hear that. You know how many times I've ran into that where we project something is going to take X amount of minutes to do, right? It's going to take this amount of minutes to print. And then you realize that you have to slow something down or you have to change something a little and it maybe increases it by 25%. And so now something that should have been done in, like 2 hours is now taking, 2.5 hours. And it just keeps going. And you're like, oh, I did not plan for this. You ran a test with it. You thought everything was there. Your timing was off. I think we've all been there where we estimated that. So now I've gotten to custom, okay, whatever this is, let's just budget an extra 25% of time just in case, because I'm not sure what's going to happen and I want to make sure we're covered in. Most times we are, but that's why if you do that, it all comes out in the wash. We're expecting it to end in this. We're adding more time to it. When it gets done, okay, we're fine with it. Oh, Darren, your high is supposed to be 101 today. Whoa, let me double check and see what ours is supposed to be, just to get me out here because it says showers and thunderstorms. It's telling me it's 66 right now. And we got 66 with a high of 89. So it's going to be hot and humid. 94 tomorrow, 91 on Friday. And then it looks like rain for the next week. Wow. Except on next Thursday, but high 80. Oh, that's why. High 80s, low 90s next week. So we're just in that time of year where it's going to thunderstorm and then be fine for it. Jerry's doing a 4-day weekend. There's very nice. Shop will be officially closed Monday at Brian's place. So, Brian, you'll have a 4-day weekend as well, but you'll be in there. I guess we will. UPS is shipping. I don't think we're going out of town anywhere. We will still talk. We talked a few different things. We talked about maybe running up to the Dells, going up there for the weekend. We talked about going a little farther north up to Minocqua for the weekend. And both of those would require not coming back until Wednesday. So then we're talking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 days. So almost a week off and trying to figure that all out. It's kind of, I can do, a longer weekend in the Dells. And we said, well, we haven't been up to Chicago for a while. We can run up there, go up there for the weekend, take the kids to the aquarium, do Navy Pier. And then I started, Renee brought up that there was the race this weekend. And I was like, yeah, I knew there was a race there. I didn't realize how much was affected by that. Like Shed Aquarium's closed. So much for that idea. I thought it would be a great thing. We can go up there, have some fun. We always have fun at Shed. We always have fun at museums. We always have fun at Navy Pier. I was like, oh, what better thing to do? We can get on that. And then we'll just, bum around downtown. Yeah, that's not happening because of everything being closed. So I don't know. If we end up just sticking around here, we might be running up to Wisconsin or Missouri and get some fireworks. And we can go over to Iowa, but yeah, they're still way priced much. So go to one of the other places. So we'll probably do that and make a day trip out of something. But most likely we'll be here and we'll be working as well. And Barb's closed all of next week because her daughter and family fly in later this week from North Carolina. And I know a lot of people that, at the 4th of July week, they just shut down. They have it pre-planned every year. They're just shutting down that time. Brian says a friend of his owns 2 houses in Florida that were damaged in the fall from the hurricane, and everything isn't fixed still. But there are hurricanes in the Gulf again, right? That's my thing. So I've always thought, we should just move down to Florida. You don't have snow. You just don't have it. You have hurricanes, but that's the thing. When everything was taking so long to get redone, I mean, I could have this house right here. Go ahead, hurricane comes through, has an issue. By the time it gets fixed, another one could come, and another one could come. You just don't know from year to year, or week to week down there. So that is one of the issues I have. And if I live down in Florida, I'm going to live on the Gulf side as much as possible because it's just prettier over there. And Chrissy said our power came on about 2200 last night, which would be 10 p.m. for you what is it? What's the standard time? Whatever this time thing is called, whatever that thing is called. But I do know 10 o'clock on there. Lots of infrastructure damage. Oh, we took a hit, 89-mile-an-hour straight line winds. Fortunately, we have a generator doing system checks on all the equipment now. Awesome. We had a conversation on Sunday about whole house generators because we've got a generator. And I said, I think that's the next purchase we made because when we had those straight line winds came through here, they were like 90 miles an hour. And this was just this past summer where it moved our, what it do? It put something on the house, ripped off part of the fascia and gutter on the house, moved the gazebo, destroyed some stuff out there, took power. We were down for a couple of days. Up the street from us, it took a roof off a place. The shopping centers all next to us, all their signs were on. It was just like right through here it came through, and that's the 3rd time it's happened in the last 15 years to us, and it's just a nightmare having to deal with that stuff. And T-Sound said, yeah, 12 hats took 4 hours instead of maybe 2 to do, and changed a few things and still the same thing. You can't get any extra things done when you always have to stop. Yes, the stopping. The stopping is the worst because there's nothing being done. So I get it for you. Renee says, Christy, finger crossed everything is okay. We thought about that. What about the Kids Museum in St. Louis? We thought about that. We're like, we could run down there and then we normally pick up some stuff and come back. One of my issues with that is I'm not as nimble as I used to be. The Kids Museum requires a lot of nimbility, right? I'm climbing through stuff. I'm going that. So it could be a possibility of going down there to that. We'll see how it all plays out. I'll get there. Um, yeah, that sucks. I hate when you can't get anything crossed off your list. Yeah, because you're just sitting there like, come on. I don't feel like I'm getting anything done. And uh, why was I calling you Dean? Darren. Darren said Greenwich Mean Time. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't know what it is. So yeah, for us, we had a great show last night. I think we got a lot of value out of it because it was free. Hey, but I think there's a lot of questions that were answered. I think it sparked some ideas in a lot of people that have white toners that, hey, this is something that you should be offering, should be doing. It sparked another thing for people to look at. This is another revenue stream that we're able to do. So I felt pretty good about last night's show. And then uh, one of the comments that somebody reached out to me and says, "Hey, okay, next, can you do something on yard signs and banners or something like that on temporary signage?" And I said, "Yeah, we could probably do that." So I think there won't be a show next Tuesday for sure because it is 4th of July, but I think we might do that on the 11th. And do kind of a yard sign one, either yard signs or banners. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, but um, because you can do a lot of the same things with both, but you get to me on the production side of things and on the sales side of things, you kind of get more bang for your buck on the yard signs because you guys are able to get them in bulk. You're able to make more off of them. So I think it might be yard signs first. So once a month, I'm going to set that goal here because it's halfway point of the year. So next Monday's show, if we do it, yeah, we're going to do Monday's show, and that'll be in July. But I think Wednesday's show, we're going to talk about goals. We're halfway through the year. Anybody that filled out the form at the beginning of the year, we're going to check in with you, see how your goals are becoming. Remember, ours are out the window because of everything that happened in the first quarter. So we're going to reassess our goal situation and what we need to do to get those goals crushed the latter half of the year. So that's what we're doing that's what we're going to talk about there. Um, Brian said, "Really great show last night." Thanks, Brian. You were you were the inspiration for it, right? I mean, you've got a white toner that's just sitting there that you're not using, and you know all the things that if you looked at the things that you offer and the things that you do in as many of the schools that you're doing, that's just a simple upsell. You throw those on your sites, you throw those in there for those teams. You know you're gonna do it, and from doing them, there's not a whole lot going into it. Once you set it up, you're just printing. Then there's the labor of applying adhesive, but still not horrible. And they're great money makers. So you should definitely do that. I can't wait to hear you do it. Um, there. Good morning to you, FU Facebook user. I don't know who you are because Facebook doesn't let me. So what you can do is just head over to fatdadlive.com. That'll get you into the YouTube side of things while you're there. Make sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications. When we go live, you will be notified. And Barb's last night's show was great. Order some tattoo paper for the white toner. Awesome. What paper did you order? Because was Magic Touch out? They said a little birdie told me they were going out soon, and it's probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks before they're out. So that's why it's our backup paper. It was the Sunny Scopa, right? Sunny Scopa and we get that Amazon. So it seems to work. To me, it's not as good as the Magic Touch, but it works well. And when on something like that, when you're doing, when you're doing temporary tattoos, great thing is it is temporary. So does it have to be 100% perfect? Not necessarily, but when you can provide, that perfection, and I think that's what we found with the Magic Touch stuff is it's a premium product, which that's why we're paying a premium price for it. But if you find what works for you, you're just able to get it. Cancel Monday show and film and record YouTube videos. I know. I'm just going to come down there and film for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come down there and film for you. That's the plan. We're going to go to St. Louis for the weekend, and then on Monday I'm going to go sprint it at Brian's shop, and we're going to film stuff, and then yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I just invited myself. That's what we're going to do. But yes, I need to film more. Although what we will talk about is I've been doing something all of June. So every day in June this month, I have posted 3 to as little as 3, and I think as many as 7 YouTube shorts, right? And it's just the printer running. That's it. There's not much of anything else. I think maybe I've thrown some grill pictures in there or whatever videos. Videos are running 15 seconds to a minute long, nothing that, and it's working. So we're gonna see where things were from the beginning of the month to the end of the month to show, that you don't have to talk, you don't have to try and sell anything, and none of that is pushing through there. On that, it just has the hashtags on it and our videos to show where that, how our page has grown from there. So that's something we're going to talk about next week on that. Jillian, good morning to you, Jillian. He said I'll be rewatching that show later from last night. We had a doubleheader in softball, so I missed it. Well, it's always here on YouTube, so you can watch it whenever you want. I'll make sure to post the link. Like I said, it's scheduled to go post in the group here in a little while, so we'll make sure that it's there for you. You order it through Coldesi. Is that a bunch of points to use up? That's the only way I'd buy anything from Coldesi is with points. I am not their biggest fan. I don't think they are of me either. I just literally last Thursday, there's a local place here. They do well in the seven figures, and they were having issues with their DTF printer. I asked if I could print from it. Absolutely. And so then we got to talking, and I said, "Well, tell me more about your printer." When I went to drop stuff off, and they're like, "We got it from Coldesi," and I'm like, "Oh." They had little to no support afterwards. They're just sending them parts to try and make it work. And so I went through. I'm like, "Well, you've tried this, this, and this," and they're like, they never said anything about that. And that's this thing. Coldesi has become box movers on things. And as far as the support after the sale, I just can't recommend them. Anything that they sell, I just can't recommend them. Master marketers, but on the backside of it, just not my biggest thing. Bring it. I double dog dare you. We might, it doesn't sound like such a bad idea, does it? Find out when Corey, because then we could just come back. It doesn't sound like a bad idea. It really doesn't. The more I think about it, how far are you from St. Louis? You're not that far. You're only like what, 2 hours? Maybe. Maybe we'll have to see how that all. We'll see. Because yeah, you're running that 4-day weekend, but why not? Why not? Right? Why not? But yeah, the only way that we can get stuff done today is if we actually do it, right? So when you go through your list, like when you set up your list, like mine, prioritize wise, here's the things that I know I need to get done, and going through it, what is the most important? So those things get done. When it comes to my list, I put things there, and if it stays on my list more than 3 days and it hasn't made an advancement, that being it hasn't been a customer that we're not waiting on artwork back for or a quote or something like that we haven't made progress adding more information to it, I just take it off my list because then apparently it's not that important to me. It helps clear that up because it stops me from moving stuff over. It goes to another list for future projects and puts things there, ideas, things like that. When I get to it, I'll get to it, but for the most part, it just is not. It's just I don't like moving stuff if I'm not going to do it, and I have these ideas of here's what we're going to do, and then I get gung-ho on it, and then other stuff comes in that is an income producing activity right now, so let's get that done and we can put this off here because it's not important. So we'll see, 1 to 2 hours from the airport depending on traffic. So see, maybe what's going on there. And Barbara says she has no issues with Coldesi. I brought all my embroidery machines through them, and the Oki 8432 customers. See, and here's the thing, Barb, like there's a handful of people that I've talked to that they're like, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never experienced that." But then while I have a handful of people with that, I've got a barrel full of people over here that are like horrible. Same thing goes with Omniprint. I've got a handful that say it's the best thing ever, and I've got 2 barrelfuls of people saying never ever again, and I wish I would have known. So I wish that they were just consistent, like both of them, either be great across the board or suck across the board, because that's what they have. Is then some of them great, other ones. Now my experience of them was horrible. When we had the Pro Spangle machine, absolutely nightmare working with them and trying to get anything done, even trying to buy extended service products from them. Like, hey, what kind of maintenance program can I get on? Hey, what kind of uh, monthly training and stuff can I get into? I'm trying to give you money. I'm trying to give you thousands of dollars. And with that, there was only 2 places that besides importing stuff that you were getting stuff from, and then they bought the other place. So then they became the sole place for it. So you didn't have any other options, which I really don't like. Buying something and only having one option for it. I want to know, hey, what if something goes bad? What if we're able to, you're out? Who else can we get it from? But they're training, we were just had it was just a lot of issues with it, and it was just not something that we started off on the great foot, and then it just kind of went downhill. And I'm like, here's what I need from you, and they were just not trying to look at this. Hudson's up. Hudson decides that he's going to get on here instead of cleaning his room. So hey, Hudson, good morning to you, buddy. Um, so that's what we got going on. We got stuff to do. We're getting on here. It's Wednesday, hump day. Hopefully everybody is doing well. We're getting closer to that weekend, which is always a good thing. Oh, that's like TKO with me. They're super bad for me. Even when you talk to the high ups involved in your order and still messes up. And I haven't had any experience with TKO. I've had people have mixed results with it. Some great, some bad, but not a consistent basis. So, T-Town's one of the ones where horrible on it. I was that way with Howard. Howard and me went round and round on things. And it was just, I had a bad experience. I know plenty of people that have it. I wouldn't recommend them. And I know plenty of people that use them and have great experience with them. But because my personal issues with them that we had, I'm just like, they're not one of my things. A company like TKO that I have no experience with, I can't say one way or the other, but like that, super bad for you. That's horrible. When you're trying to run your business, they're trying to run their business, but you can't rely on them. That there's that partnership. Like me, we we screwed up on orders. I know we have, and that's where I'm like, hey, tell me how we can make it better. What can we do? What is your thoughts on this? And some of it, if the blame falls on us, that you let me know when you need what you need, we'll take care of it. When the blame falls on the other person, hey, how can we make this better? Because you got to think, on our side, when people submit orders, we just print. If somebody has, hey, I need this size, this size, this size, and we scale them to what we use at, and that's not what they wanted, well, you need to be specific. I need them at 11.2795 inches. I need it at, 10.6, whatever. When you're not specific and it just says adult size, we're going with what we use for ours. So, and I've had to explain that to a couple people where it's like, here's what you selected. We'll be happy to help you, but we need to make sure that when you are submitting these, that this doesn't happen, and they're good with it. So it's something that you have to think about when you're ordering. Everybody makes mistakes. It's how you fix those mistakes is what makes you and your company. And like I said, we've made mistakes. I'm not perfect by any means. There's times where I just ran into the other day. I don't know why, but somebody ordered. I know why they ordered. They wanted transfers. They ordered. It was 11 fronts and 11 backs, and for whatever reason, I did 11 fronts and I did 11 backs and only one front. They're like, I think I'm missing two things. I'm like, really? And then I look back. I'm like, yep. When I was setting it up, I just completely forgot the. I had the one sitting there, but I didn't duplicate it out to make sure that there was 10 there. Just continue to put my day. And so what did we do? Print shipped on us, right? It was just it. We had to eat it. We had to eat the shipping part of it because, yeah, it wasn't their fault. It was ours. So we moved them, front of line production, got them out the door. So they were happy when we got their stuff. But that's the other thing when it comes to your timelines. Really try hard not to press on timelines because it doesn't matter who you order from. Things can happen. An order can be messed up. Okay, yep, it's messed up here. Let's get it out. How fast can we get this done and get it back to you? Shipping delays can happen. We're still seeing shipping delays. Things, we had stuff that was come to us and the truck broke down along the way. Okay, so we had to wait, and it was the stuff that was supposed to be here on a Friday that we needed for a Saturday, and the truck didn't come until Monday. So we were just out. We make what we can do, but we told them going into it, hey, providing UPS does their job, we can finish this. If we can't, it's not going to be until Monday. So, leave yourself the time or explain the situation to your customers. I've done my job providing UPS, that the shipper does their job to get stuff out. That's saying, you order shirts from S&S. Let's make sure that they pull everything correctly and get everything on the truck correctly. And let's hold through that UPS did their job and shipping everything correctly. The delivery driver is getting here. Everything falls into place. Yes, we'll be fine. But if any of those happen, we'll let you know, and then we can plan accordingly. But that's something that happens in those rush jobs. So always try and leave yourself, that at least that extra 2 days for jobs. Don't go right up into that deadline because things can happen. What if something beyond your control happens? A storm comes through and you lose power. We had that happen for Easter. That's when our storm came through here and we were without power. So we packed up stuff and we went up to Corey's parents' house, and that's what we did for day was just work out of there, so that way we could get stuff done. It sucks, but you have to make do with it. You have to make do with it. Somebody got totally effed over by TK with a really large client. Well, now I'm starting to hear more and more bad things. Happy Holiday says, I agree about TKO. Oof. Is it getting that? Are they be another one that's becoming master marketers, putting stuff out there and then subpar products? Well, I don't like hear that. Darren said, I just did that with some plaques. They had last year's date, and in my head, they didn't have the date. Oh, yep. I've done that. Well, I think it was a date thing as well, where I'm like, is that right? Is that totally right? Because where we'll see that is somebody will buy, they'll buy designs off Etsy or Creative Fabric or something, and it's a trip. Let's see, the last one was a cruise one, and the date on it was 2022. I didn't think nothing about it. I just print, and they're like, "Oh, you need a reprint on these." I'm like, "Why? What's wrong?" They're like, "Because I didn't pay attention to the artwork, and it was 2022." I'm like, "Oh." I've done it when we've used designs from years past on things, and where we see that more at is when we're doing sports teams, things like that, where here's the fall season or the spring season that has the year with it, and just not thinking about it and just go through it. Yep, same design as last time, perfect. Yeah, we had the dates on it every time when we run it for that fall promo or that spring promo. So I've tried to get better at looking at it, but we miss stuff, and it's not until Corey might catch it or the client catches it, and we have to fix it. It just sucks, but hey, that's part of doing business, right? All right, we've been going a half an hour. We've got stuff to do. I've got to get rocking on this day. I plan on being done early-ish today, and by that, I want to have everything printed, packaged, ready to go, so we can go to UPS at 3 today. That's our goal, and then I can still work on some other stuff. But that's our goal, is to get everything done out the door by 3 today. I want to start dinner a little early at like 5 today. That's what I want to do, So that's my plan. What's your plan for the day? All right. You guys have an amazing day. We will be back here Friday. Yeah, we'll be back here Friday morning for Morning Mindset. There may be another bundle drop. I know it's a little late, but there were 2 that dropped last week for 4th of July. So there may be another one that drops this weekend as well. So if you're so inclined, you can go check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you Friday morning, Morning Mindset, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Set your goals. Be ready for success. I know you got this. I have faith in you. Peace, love, press on. We will see you guys next time.